Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 462 based on novel. So let's start. After leaving planet Renyun, Wang Lin didn't make any stops. As ripples echoed under his feet, he quickly traveled through the stars. This last matter was something Wang Lin had to do. There was an extremely desolate place in all heaven, and it was filled with fog. If one charged in randomly, it was easy to get lost and trapped inside forever. This was a forbidden land in all heaven. Cultivators rarely came here. If someone passed by, they would choose to avoid this place and not dare to approach. There were some strange fierce beasts hidden inside this vast fog, and it was very similar to the Cloud Sea. Although there weren't many, they had their own world here. Divine sense would be affected by the fog, making it difficult to cover the area. Wang Lin's figure appeared outside this area as ripples echoed. As he looked at the dense fog before him, his eyes lit up. After he left the Thunder Celestial Realm, he was sent here inside the body of that exotic beast. Then he brought the chosen celestial people out and saw this fog. He also saw that giant, whale-like beast, the nether beast. The last thing Wang Lin had to do in all heaven was hunt the nether beast. The nether beast was extremely large and powerful. However, it was extremely timid and hid from all enemies. Its timid personality didn't match its vast body. Although this was the case, very few things in this world dared to provoke it. Even though Master Lu Fu knew it was here, he didn't dare have any thoughts of hunting this beast. Even Master Lu Fu couldn't do anything to this beast, showing just how powerful it was. If its personality was violent, all heaven would suffer a calamity. Even though the Moongazer serpent was larger than this beast, it also wouldn't dare to provoke it. The nether beast only knew 2 spells. The first spell was to turn ethereal. Although its body was large, unless it revealed itself, you would have difficulty noticing it, even if it was right beside you. Due to its timid nature, once it felt disturbed, it would immediately choose to turn into the void, making it difficult to find. The second spell was the complete opposite of its first ability. Whether it was the Moongazer Serpent or Master Lu Fu, they all had to run when facing this second spell. The nether beast contained a realm inside its body. It could be large or small, it was unpredictable. The only spell it knew was Devour. Once the beast was forced into a corner, it would open its mouth and devour. The stars would tremble, and whether it was spells, beasts, cultivators, and even planets, they would all be devoured into its body and be trapped inside. The nether beast wouldn't open its mouth for tens of thousands of years, but once it did, time would flow. This means that once the nether beast took the initiative to devour, it could cause tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of years to pass in the world inside its body. It didn't have any spell to slow down time, only for it to pass by instantly. Rumor has it that in ancient times, there was an adult nether beast. It was forced into a corner once, and it devoured a star domain. Millions of years passed in an instant. The star domain turned to dust and all its enemies were dead. Very few people understood the nether beast. They only knew that it didn't speed up time every time it devoured, as doing so would cause a great deal of stress for the nether beast. Although this was the case, very few people would dare to provoke this beast. Most of Wang Lin's understanding of the nether beast came from the outer realm. After he absorbed so many cultivators, his understanding of the nether beast gradually became more comprehensive. It was also because of this that he became very interested in the nether beast and decided to capture it. The only thing that puzzled me is how could the mere celestial emperor of the Thunder Celestial Realm be able to use the nether beast? Staring at the fog, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Had he not seen the nether beast and felt its unimaginable power, he would have thought that the beast only had a large body and didn't have much strength. The Celestial Emperor was an amazing person. Perhaps he had another method to borrow the power of the beast. Wang Lin's expression became serious as he took a step and charged into the fog. He was too fast and in a flash he charged into the fog. The moment he entered, he caused the fog to churn. It was as if there were countless ghosts crying in his ears. The mournful cries were shocking. This fog made Wang Lin very nervous. He relied on great luck and his connection to his original body to slowly get out last time. However, now he didn't care and traveled extremely fast through the fog. He also spread out his divine sense to scan the surrounding area. Although he couldn't cover the whole area, anything within hundreds of thousands of feet was clear in his mind. Unless it was the last resort, Wang Lin wouldn't use both Zhu Jin and Ling Dong to help search. This nether beast wasn't a cultivator and was extremely timid. Once it felt the disturbance of divine sense, it would immediately escape. It wouldn't matter if it ran away, but once it turned ethereal to escape, it would make it difficult for Wang Lin to find. Also, he didn't want to kill this beast but make it his ancient god life essence beast. While moving forward, Wang Lin's expression was extremely serious. Every step he took moved him hundreds of thousands of feet. He constantly moved through the fog, looking for traces of the nether beast. Time slowly passed, but Wang Lin wasn't exhausted at all. He was like a hunter carefully searching for his prey. During this process, many strange fierce beasts appeared inside his divine sense. However, no matter how fierce they were, once Wang Lin's divine sense swept by, they all trembled and didn't dare to move. They didn't even dare to let out a single sound. Inside the fog, a white figure would often flash and cross great distances. Wang Lin carefully explored the star domain this fog covered. There was no sign of the nether beast. Ever since it appeared in the past, it seemed to have disappeared. Wang Lin's expression was still serious and he showed no hint of impatience as he continued to search. Wang Lin's figure went deeper into the fog. As he searched, he left his footprints over almost half of this star domain. There was still no trace or clue of the nether beast, as if it had already left and no longer existed. Wang Lin frowned slightly. After pondering a bit, he gave up on the idea of using Zhu Jin and Ling Dong. He calmed himself before he began to move once more and searched even more carefully. As time passed, the area Wang Lin had searched increased slowly. From almost half the star domain to nearly 80%. At this moment, Wang Lin suddenly stopped and his eyes lit up. His divine sense locked onto the fog before him. There was some gravel in the fog 30,000 feet away from Wang Lin. There were dozens of rocks quietly floating through the fog. Wang Lin's gaze pierced through the fog and landed on the rocks. He then moved like lightning and directly penetrated the fog to arrive before the rocks. Looking at them closely, each rock contained many colors, as if they were gems. They were fused together by a mysterious force to cause this formation. Standing on a 1,000-foot rock, Wang Lin's right hand knocked on it. Popping sounds echoed from within. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin reached out hard and grabbed a piece. After taking a closer look, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. These rocks gave off an ancient aura and were filled with spiritual energy. Just a 1,000-foot piece of rock had enough spiritual energy to match a half-abandoned planet. However, although this spiritual energy was shocking, it wasn't alive, it seemed it was dead. I have never seen spirit stones like this. This 1,000-foot rock is something not even top-quality spirit stones can compare to. If this is taken to the cultivation world, it can be sold at a heavenly price. However, there are traces of time passing on it. It's as if tens of thousands of years have passed. Creating this. As Wang Lin analyzed, he suddenly stopped his train of thought. His eyes widened and he stared at the gravel in his hand. Trace of time. Trace of time, Wang Lin vaguely noticed something. His divine sense swept past the gravel to feel the trace of time, and his eyes lit up. The excretion of the nether beast. Wang Lin looked at the gravel before him and joy appeared on his face. That's right, the nether beast must have devoured a few cultivation planets for some reason and time passed inside its body. Although the cultivation planets died and their souls dissipated, the spiritual energy inside condensed together into these rocks. This is why they seem dead while being rich in spiritual energy. And they are filled with the trace of time. Nether beast, in order to hunt it, I must seal it first. Not only do I have to seal the outside, I must seal the inside of its body as well. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Daring to hunt the nether beast meant that he was already prepared. The outer seal can be made with one blow from thunder. The difficult part will be sealing its inside. And sealing its soul. Staring at the group of rocks before him, Wang Lin waved his hand and a gust of wind swept past them. The rocks all collapsed and the spiritual energy in them escaped. Then Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the spiritual energy formed a vortex in his hand. Guided by the spirit, Wang Lin's left hand formed a seal and pointed at the spiritual energy vortex. In an instant, the spiritual energy floated into the air like smoke. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he followed the spiritual energy and quickly moved through the endless fog. Although this spiritual energy from the rocks had no life and contained traces of time, because it came from the nether beast, it contained a faint aura of the nether beast. With this aura as the guide, he could find the nether beast. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he moved like lightning after the spiritual energy smoke. He quickly moved into the depths of the fog. As he moved forward, there was a hint of joy in his eyes. He vaguely felt a pressure coming from the fog ahead. With this pressure, no fierce beast would dare to live here. As it entered Wang Lin's mind, the pressure seemed to turn into a powerful force and caused Wang Lin's mind to tremble. Without hesitation, he slowly withdrew his divine sense that was spread out hundreds of feet while not alerting that pressure. His divine sense shrank and shrank, until it was only 1,000 feet around him. At the same time, his body broke through the fog with the spiritual energy smoke and charged into the depths of the fog. The further he went, the stronger the pressure became and the more clear it was. It was like countless mountains had appeared on top of Wang Lin, but the pressure didn't force him to retreat. Instead, strong excitement and battle intent appeared in his eyes. He waved his right hand and the spiritual energy smoke returned back to his storage space. He stood there as he licked his lips and a fire seemed to sweep across his body. If this nether beast is not strong, hunting it will be boring. The more powerful it is, the more worthwhile it is for me to hunt. Only then can it qualify to become my ancient god's life essence beast. Wang Lin smiled as he slowly walked forward. The pressure gradually grew stronger as Wang Lin got closer. It was as if there was an unimaginable presence ahead. This presence seemed to be sleeping, and a pressure silently spread out. As this pressure spread, the fog spread with it. If one looked from above, they would see the pressure creating ripples across the fog. Wang Lin was moving toward his prey with excitement in his heart. Hunting the nether beast. His divine sense remained 1,000 feet around him. At this point, Wang Lin no longer needed his divine sense or the spiritual energy smoke to guide him. He could find the nether beast by following this pressure. The fog was like waves that silently spread in all directions. Wang Lin stepped through the fog with no hesitation. When the pressure and the fog reached the most violent moment, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and he suddenly sped up. It was as if everything he was doing was to prepare for this final sprint. At this moment, Wang Lin's speed reached the peak of how fast his 7-star ancient god body could move. Not even Master Lu Fu could match him. This speed was unimaginable and was several times faster than the speed of sound. This created an instant of silence. Wang Lin threw the sonic boom far behind him and charged ahead. The fog collapsed before him and scattered. The pressure disintegrated layer by layer before him. In a flash, Wang Lin had broken through all the fog before him and he saw the giant beast 1,000 feet away. This fierce beast was like a whale, and it was millions of feet long. Cultivators were like ants before it. Nether beast. On the sides its mouth were 2 large whiskers that slowly wobbled. Its mouth and eyes were closed as if it was asleep. Its body was completely dark blue. From afar it looked like a dark blue sea floating through the fog. A powerful pressure came from its body and pushed the fog apart. Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he didn't pause as he charged forward. 1,000 feet, 800 feet, 500 feet, 300 feet. Until only 30 feet. When he was within 30 feet, Wang Lin raised his right hand and mercilessly slammed down on the sleeping nether beast. Thunderous rumbles suddenly echoed. The sonic boom created by Wang Lin also caught up at the same time. A loud explosion suddenly echoed through the fog. The thunderous rumble was like a star domain collapsing. It was enough to cause the mind of anyone who heard it to collapse and their bodies to tear to pieces. As a royal ancient god, I use the might of my ancient order heritage to seal its outer body as my life essence beast. Thunderous rumbles echoed as Wang Lin's right hand landed on the nether beast, forming a palm-sized ancient order rune. The outer seal is complete. Now comes the inner seal, but I can't enter that realm. Then the most difficult soul seal. Only after those 3 seals are complete can this beast become my ancient god life essence beast. The nether beast's body suddenly trembled and an angry roar suddenly came from its body. The roar was like the spell of a third-step cultivator, and it immediately suppressed the sound of the explosion. When they collided, an indescribable shockwave was formed. This force quickly spread, and all the fog inside this star domain began to churn like crazy. If one looked from the outside, the fog was exploding outward at a rapid pace. It was like the disaster before the star domain collapses. All the cultivators in all heaven felt all heaven tremble. Wang Lin was the closest to the nether beast, and as the impact swept by him, he was forced back thousands of feet. Each step he took caused space to rumble and collapse beneath his feet, exposing an illusory net. This was the realm ceiling formation. The nether beast's body trembled as its eyes opened and stared at Wang Lin. The 2 whiskers moved and roars came out from its mouth. Its huge body didn't retreat, but instead, as it roared, its eyes revealed a fierce gaze and it smashed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. As he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, he let out a laugh. He didn't retreat either and faced it head-on as it smashed toward him. They all said that this beast's personality is timid, that it would flee when it encountered an enemy. When I saw it back then, it was true, but for some reason it's not escaping now. This is good too. Popping sounds came from Wang Lin's body. The 7 ancient god stars between his eyebrows rotated rapidly and his body suddenly grew to more than 10,000 feet tall. There was a thunderous bang as Wang Lin opened his arms and hugged the nether beast as it smashed into him. Wang Lin immediately felt a powerful force hit his body, causing him to cough out blood. At the same time, he was being pushed back. He was pushed back 10,000 feet. However, the battle intent within Wang Lin became even stronger. His laughter echoed as his mouth locked onto the mouth of the nether beast and his roar echoed. This is more interesting. To compete with me in strength. Wang Lin forced himself to stop, and at this moment another powerful force came from the nether beast. The 7 stars between Wang Lin's eyebrows rotated rapidly and ancient god power filled his body. Not only did this stop him from being pushed back, but he took a step forward as he hugged the nether beast. Space itself trembled and the fog roared. Wang Lin's laughter spread and his eyes were bloodshot but filled with battle intent. After pushing the nether beast back 1 step, he took the 2nd step. A roar came from inside the nether beast as if couldn't resist the ancient god power coming from Wang Lin. It continued to be pushed back. Wang Lin moved faster and faster as he took step after step while roaring. 100 feet, 500 feet, 1,000 feet. Until 10,000 feet. No matter how much the 100,000 feet nether beast struggled, it couldn't break free from Wang Lin's hands. After more than 10,000 feet, Wang Lin's arm swelled and he raised the nether beast up before smashing it down. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the fog in the star domain was pushed back, creating an opening in the middle. The nether beast was thrown by Wang Lin and flew downwards. A loud sound echoed and a panic roar came from the nether beast. Fear appeared in its eyes and it moved its whale-like tail. It no longer dared to fight, and after being thrown by Wang Lin it began to escape downwards. Become this god's life beast and rampage in the world with his god. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. The first palm he had sent out contained the aura of his life force, and it had already entered the body of the nether beast. Seeing the nether beast flee, Wang Lin walked forward. However, just as he closed in on the nether beast, it suddenly turned around. The fear in its eyes disappeared and was replaced by a hint of wisdom. There was no fear at all, everything before was just to confuse its enemy, to let them think it was escaping and chase so they would fall into its trap. What kind of nether beast was this? It was clearly a beast spirit that had cultivated to a certain degree. The moment he turned around, a muffled roar came from the nether beast's mouth and a gap opened. The nether beast hadn't opened its mouth for tens of thousands of years. For the nether beast, just a small gap was thousands of feet large. The moment it opened, the roar that it seemed to have been holding back for tens of thousands of years rushed out like crazy. Roar? It was impossible to describe the power of this roar. As it spread out, space itself shook. All heaven heard it clearly. As the roar echoed, a power erupted from the nether beast's body, forcing that gap to open wide. 1,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 8,000 feet, 10,000 feet. The roar contained an impact that could collapse space, and it charged out at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's hair fluttered back, his body felt like it was being torn, and his ears rumbled. The nether beast's mouth opened even more from 10,000 feet, 30,000 feet, 60,000 feet, until it was opened 80,000 feet. At a glance, the nether beast's mouth seemed to lead to the netherworld. The roars that were coming out seemed to be the roars of the gods. Inside the fog, Wang Lin's expression became gloomy. The surrounding fog spread like crazy under the roar from the nether beast. Looking around now, there was no fog remaining. Even his body was being pushed back by the nether beast's roar, and tearing sounds could be heard from his body. If he wasn't a 7-star ancient god and an ordinary cultivator, he could have collapsed before this roar. As he retreated, he waved his hand and more than 10 ancient leaves appeared. They didn't seal the nether beast's mouth but surrounded Wang Lin. At the same time, Wang Lin's right hand pointed to the spot between his eyebrows and both esteemed Ling Dong and Zhu Jin both appeared. They didn't attack the nether beast but stood beside Wang Lin. As their hands rapidly formed seals, Joss flames surrounded Wang Lin. All of this happened in an instant. The moment Ling Dong and Zhu Jin appeared, Wang Lin's ancient god stars started to rotate rapidly. The phantom ancient order head appeared and surrounded the three of them. The roar of the nether beast only lasted for a few breaths before it dissipated. Once the roar disappeared, a powerful suction force filled the stars. Under this powerful suction, Wang Lin saw the power of the devouring spell from the nether beast. All the fog that was pushed extremely far away was instantly pulled past Wang Lin and into the mouth of the nether beast. As the stars trembled, dust formed a storm and was devoured by the nether beast. The nether beast's mouth was like a giant black hole that devoured everything. Wang Lin was able to stabilize himself with the ancient leaves and Ling Dong and Zhu Jin. Not only was he not being pulled in, but he was slowly retreating. There was flashes of coldness in his eyes as he waited for that critical moment. However, the suction force became stronger and stronger. In just an instant, it reached a terrifying degree. More and more dust was being sucked into the nether beast's mouth. There were rumblings from far away as some abandoned planets were being pulled off their orbit and toward this place. In an instant, a giant abandoned planet moved past Wang Lin and shot toward the nether beast. Although the nether beast was large, it still couldn't compare to the planet. However, when the planet got close, it distorted and seemed to shrink before it was devoured by the nether beast. This caused Wang Lin's pupils to shrink. As the suction force increased, the 10 ancient leaves rotated rapidly around Wang Lin, forming a blockade. The ancient order head and the Joss flames from Ling Dong and Zhu Jin continued to help him resist. It's still not time yet. The nether beast's mouth can't be this weak. As Wang Lin stared at the nether beast, the coldness in his eyes gradually increased. Thunderous rumbles echoed. Dozens of abandoned planets flew in from the distance and were devoured by the nether beast. The nether beast became anxious. It wanted to devour Wang Lin, not these abandoned planets and the fog. However, the suction force wasn't moving Wang Lin at all, which caused madness to slowly appear in the nether beast's eyes. There is a realm inside the nether beast, but it is merely a spell. Since it is a beast, it has life, soul, flesh, and blood. If I want to take it as my life essence beast, then I must enter its body without being sucked into that realm. Although, I want it to open its mouth, not for it to open by itself. In addition, this beast spell hasn't been fully activated yet. From the information I gathered, when this beast releases the full power of its spell, its soul will appear. Only then can I seal the soul. If the soul doesn't appear, I can't seal its insides and the seal will fail. Wang Lin saw the anxiety in the nether beast's eyes and slowly retreated. This suction force might have some use against Master Lu Fu, but Wang Lin had Ling Dong, Zhu Jin, the ancient order head, and the ancient leaves. He could resist this suction force. His slow retreat was seen by the nether beast. Its body gave off a dark blue glow and the 80,000-foot gap in its mouth suddenly widened. 80,000 feet, 100,000 feet, 200,000 feet, 400,000 feet, 800,000 feet. Until it was more than 1,000,000 feet. Looking from afar, the mouth of the nether beast occupied a majority of its body. Its twisted appearance was extremely shocking. Its mouth seemed to be open to its limit, and as it let out a roar, the nether beast trembled. A giant phantom appeared behind it. This phantom was also a nether beast. Only it was just a mouth. It was as big as the star domain. This was the soul of the nether beast. It might be an illusion, but when it appeared, Wang Lin felt like the star system became a river and the countless planets were like the fish in the river. Under the suction force, the star domain charged for the phantom mouth. Deep within the mouth, there was a rotating black hole. This was where the nether beast's realm was. This was enough to shock anyone who saw it. Ancient leaves surrounded Wang Lin, and at this moment, they trembled as if they couldn't handle it anymore. Even Ling Dong and Zhu Jin's faces were livid and they let out low roars. Even so, Wang Lin's body was being pulled forward due to the sudden increase in suction force. He got closer and closer. Just as he was about to be devoured by the phantom mouth, the coldness that was suppressed in Wang Lin's eyes suddenly erupted. The moment the coldness erupted, Wang Lin raised his right hand and mercilessly punched. This punch immediately fused with the ancient order head. At the same time, Ling Dong let out a roar and the devil god statue behind him charged out with the punch. Zhu Jin also erupted with all his power and a monstrous blood wolf accompanied Wang Lin's punch. From afar, Wang Lin's punch seemed to turn into a pillar of light with the blood wolf roaring and the devil god statue opening its arms behind it. They all shot straight toward the phantom mouth that appeared before the nether beast. This punch was Wang Lin's most powerful attack. It contained Ling Dong and Zhu Jin's powers. It was the full power of 3 third-step cultivators attacking at once. At this instant, the thunder tattoo in Wang Lin's right eye flew out and entered his punch. Thunderous rumbles echoed and this star domain turned into a thunder lake. The 9-colored fire inside his left eye burned and turned into a firestorm that also fused with this punch. This punch was infinitely close to the full power of a peak nirvana void cultivator. It was approaching the second void realm, spirit void. The punch collided with the phantom mouth, and a heaven-shattering rumble echoed. The nether beast roared and the phantom mouth trembled and showed signs of collapsing. However, as it collapsed, the suction force increased and managed to devour Wang Lin's punch. Esteemed Ling Dong disappeared first and was devoured into the mysterious realm inside the nether beast. Shortly after was Zhu Jin. He disappeared under the powerful suction force. Their disappearance bought Wang Lin valuable time as their Joss flames had blocked the mouth for a moment. This allowed Wang Lin to stop inside the nether beast's soul's mouth. This phantom mouth was its soul and the focus of the seal. In order to seal the mouth, he had to go inside once, but it had to be done before he was sucked into its realm. This was the conclusion Wang Lin had come to after analyzing for a long time. Although it was strange that the nether beast didn't escape, now everything had returned back to his original plan. Time was short. The few breaths of time Ling Dong and Zhu Jin had bought for him would quickly pass. Without hesitation, Wang Lin's hands formed a seal and pointed forward. His 7 ancient god stars rotated rapidly and then flew out from his forehead. The 7 stars rotated rapidly, and as Wang Lin pointed, they landed on the nether beast's soul mouth. As a royal ancient god, I use the might of my ancient order heritage to seal its soul and make it my life essence beast. This video will end here.